Do you want to live as an untold story? Or would you rather go out in a blaze of glory? Do you want to live better days and never look back and say, it could have been me. It could have been me. Well, stay tuned. All right, so those opening quotes were from the song Could Have Been Me by the Struts. And it's perfect going into dry January. You know, if you're thinking about doing this, the time is now. And if you're watching this later, the time is today. You know, there's a great quote that says, your life right now is a result of what you did a year ago. And your life a year from now will be a result of what you do right now. Act accordingly. You know, I can remember how many times I thought, God, this week has sucked. How much better would this week have been if I didn't drink last week? And that would go on week after week. And same thing. God, this month was a waste. How much better would it have been if I didn't drink last month going into this month? You know, I heard a great quote that really helped me at the beginning of the end that said, you have permission to disappoint others and you are committed to stop disappointing yourself. And that really hit home with me. You know, I was working in my pizza shop where I was really struggling with my perfectionism and people pleasing and drinking to quiet those voices. You know, it's not just the voice that compels us to drink. It's really those pre-voices that put that pressure on us, that weaken us and up the drinking voice and weaken us to resist it. And, you know, it really helped that my coach Hope one day said to me, you know, Brian, your customers would never want you to compromise your sobriety for the sake of a perfect order or because you screwed up their order. You know, and that really helped me. And that quote went right along with it. You know, you've got permission to disappoint others. Just commit to stop disappointing yourself. And that's what we, as problem drinkers, do every day. Every day we wake up and say, all right, I'm not going to drink today. You know, and then that voice just works on us, works. And ultimately, when we're in the throes of it, of the brainwashing, you know, we give into it and we drink. And then we wake up the next day full of shame and regret. That was another quote from that song. You're wrapped in your regret. What a waste of blood and sweat. And it truly is. And it's time you only worried about disappointing yourself and thinking about your future self. You know, that's another concept that really helped me. Every day I was giving in to that voice for that 20 minutes of relaxing at best. You know, maybe shut up that voice for 20 minutes. But then it would always come roaring back and I'd have to just drink more and more to try to get to autopilot where I officially was numbed out from it. Another thing that really helped me is, you know, with therapy, which is part of doing the work, you know, therapy, coaching, sharing on sobriety calls. And, you know, every week I'd say to my therapist, well, I was hoping this would be the week I told you I didn't drink, but it's going to be next week. And then next week I'd say the same thing. And then the week after. You know, and I said, sorry to disappoint you. And she said, hey, Brian, you're not disappointing me. You could never disappoint me. Of course, their jobs is to be judgment-free. So I realized, I was ultimately just disappointing myself. And you know what? I got sick of that. And I also got sick of hearing all these success stories and sobriety calls, and I wanted to be one of them. You know, I wasn't sharing on them when I was in the throes because we're so beaten down. Again, from disappointing ourselves. You know, I heard a woman just say in a call the other day, she's now 4 years sober, but she said I was constantly disappointing myself. But I knew if I wanted to have a life for me and my granddaughter, I had to stop listening to my excuses and get sober. And that's what this is about, you know, self-care. You've got to do the self-care, which is really doing the work. And every day that you don't drink, you'll make yourself proud, you know. Because final quote I heard a guy say is, the driving force behind my decision to quit was I finally got sick of disappointing myself and not reaching my potential. You know, I said for years, I was haunted forever. I've said I've been haunted by my potential. And I knew it was drinking that held me back. I had one girlfriend years ago that said, I don't think your drinking's that big of a problem. And I said, yeah, I might not be getting obliterated every night. But I know when I wake up every day, I'm disappointed in myself, and that's holding me back from my potential. And now in sobriety, over 9 months of it, I make myself proud every day. You know, at the beginning, it was just getting through a day sober. And then I started doing the work, you know, sharing on calls, First time I ever shared a call, I broke down after that call. I sobbed like I never had. It was the hardest thing I'd ever done sober. And now every time I share, it doesn't matter what I say. I'm just proud of myself for doing it. And every day to do a cold shower finish. I've been doing that for 10 years. And every day I dread it. And then I do it. And then I'm proud of myself. And then everything in the outside world that I do sober, I am proud of. Still, when I go shopping, when I get a haircut sober, I am proud of myself. When I call the doctor's office sober, I am proud of myself. So to recap, you have permission to disappoint others and to stop disappointing yourself, especially your future self. We can do hard things sober, and every time you do, you'll make yourself proud. So if you're going into the new year, you're thinking about dry January, or whatever month you're in, do it today. Because the day you start, the day that clock starts on living life. As I said, your life a year from now will be a result of what you do right now. And as that song goes, you're going to live better days. You'll never look back and say, it could have been me. It could have been me. Because it will be you. And instead of living as an untold story, you're going to go out in a blaze of glory, just like me. You got this. Today's the day. That'll do it. Please like, share, subscribe, and remember, stronger, sober.